What's up, YouTube? Robert the Monster Among Marks Drap here. I'm back again for the WWE News and Rumors. For this week, we have a bit of a... And I know you're not seeing the heavy metal hippie Sierra with us today. It's been a whole thing. I'm hoping, and I'm noticing now that I'm looking at the channel, even with our delay of 20 seconds, I'm not moving, which is weird because yeah, that usually doesn't happen. But you know what? That's fine. We will just keep going as we normally do. I've got news on Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho's opinions of what the WWE product has come to. Did Big Cass finally come out during a indie show and put forth the reason why he left WWE, claiming that only 3 men in the entire world know exactly what went on, and the other 2 won't say a damn thing. Also, we've got, in addition to the news of Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes' opinions of the current WWE product, maybe, because it was very veiled. Is it possible that one of the most iconic groups in all of the world, the current pinnacle of what can be done in the independent scene, the Bullet Club, will they be making an appearance in WWE in the near future? And if so, how soon can we expect to see them? All this and more are going to be things I'm talking about tonight with you guys. But first, I want to start by saying thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share all those wonderful things down below, right down there. Even though you can't see it, I'm going to try and restart my my webcam, so that way we might get a little bit of a image here. But no, yeah, I mean it's been an interesting it's been an interesting day today. I mean, just trying to get through a good session, and I've been playing a lot of Destiny, so that right there has been interesting for me at the very least. Geez, I'm not getting anywhere with my camera, so we are going to, since we can't get the camera to behave itself. Oh, it took it off of every one of those. Okay, sorry about that. Had to check to see if it did it for the entire thing or just yours truly. Let's go on ahead and see if we can't get some sort of image of yours truly up on the thing. As much as I know you guys like looking at my face while I do this this work. Let's start at the top of the list, and you see my good friend and tag team partner Sierra, wishing her a speedy recovery from a little bit of a harsh things that she had to go through this week, and that's up to her to go into it. You see, we had oh, sorry, I'm also trying to keep up with it on my phone, but as I'm sure you guys can tell, this has not been an easy day. My good friend and tag team partner Sierra did furnish me with some amount of news and rumors from her end, so we're going to go on ahead and go through those first as kind of an homage to her good hard work. You know, I mean, when you do good work, when you put in the hours and you track stuff down like this, you should absolutely have it heard, and we're going to start there. From Sunday, we heard apparently Punishment Martinez dropped the Ring of Honor TV title to Jeff Cobb, and apparently Martinez will be making his way to WWE, as was confirmed by Dave Meltzer. Personally, I'm always for more talent coming in. You know, it's always a good thing to have new fresh blood and new styles to watch. Next, also from Sunday, we have apparently Rey Mysterio is rumored to return at Super Showdown, but it's much more likely that he will return at SmackDown 1000. I mean, that's where all of the big hitters are going to be showing up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Master of the 619 swing into the big show. From the first, we Tanel Dashwood, aka Emma, who's been dealing with an autoimmune disease, skin condition, and an injured shoulder that required surgery for the last 6 months, is expected to be offered and sign her new Ring of Honor contract. Especially, Sierra put here, kind of cool since she'll be sitting on the shelf with said injury. So apparently they feel like Emma, who is absolutely worth the investment, to try and bring her into the Ring of Honor women's division. I mean, I would agree. I would completely say that she is. As from the second, and she would fangirl like no other right here. The king of the cruiserweights makes his first in-ring appearance outside of WWE at Dragon Gate. Apparently, this is a Japanese indie promotion that specifically deals with cruiserweights. Neville previously wrestled for the company for 5 years, going by, I don't know what PAC is, but his next scheduled appearance is with the Japanese indie company on November the 6th. So I'm really, really happy about that. Again, Neville was always amazing. Neville is somebody you never want to see go, and with him coming hopefully back, and seeing his body of work come into that, it's kind of one of those things. It's like we finally get what we wanted. We may get to see him go to his kind of his upper limits. Maybe I would love to see him do some good work. Let's see here. Apparently, as this was the end, well, the end of the notes that she gave to me. Apparently, WWE Survivor Series may not revolve around Raw versus SmackDown this year. According to WrestleVote, there's a good chance that instead we'll see Team Corbin versus Team Angle, with the winner being officially named to the position of Raw General Manager. Honestly, to see that, to have that come back, to have that be a thing that ends up being the next logical progression of the feud between face and heel GMs. That would be wonderful. It's just something to see. My good friend and co-host did mention that apparently the going theory is that this match between Triple H and The Undertaker will spawn a feud for Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, and the Dead Man moving into WrestleMania. And this would supplant dream matches, perhaps, like AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Now, I don't think it's all that hard a stretch to say that we will see Triple H and Undertaker kind of move away from just being those two to the Brothers of Destruction versus DX, and then Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. That's going to be a thing. I don't know if Sierra, she didn't send this to me, so I imagine she didn't see it. So she's going to be kind of sad when she hears this one. The Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne, has apparently been removed from an appearance for Destiny Wrestling this weekend due to an injury that he may have sustained. Destiny Wrestling announced the move on their social media channels, originally noting that Dunne was suffering from a quote-unquote severe injury. That Facebook post has since been edited and updated, still noting, however, Dunne's absence is still due to an undisclosed injury. And this is the Facebook post. Update. Due to a recent injury, Pete Dunne will not be able to make it this weekend to our this weekend's tour in Canada. We apologize to everyone for any inconvenience, but the show must go on, and we're happy to announce that Tyler Bate and Trent Seven will be coming to represent British Strong Style. Also, breaking news for this Sunday, this Sunday, October 7th, taking Pete Dunne's spot will be former NXT, New Japan, Impact, and Lucha Underground star Low Ki versus Josh Alexander. So fasten your seatbelts as we promise a kick-ass show. End of the post. Pete Dunne recently surpassed 500 days as WWE United Kingdom champion. Dunne and Adam Cole are scheduled to face Ricochet for the NXT North American Championships on next week's episode of NXT, which has already been taped. There was also a small link noting that there is a limited edition tee for Dunne's 500th day as champion, and I didn't look at it, so, but it's there. I imagine that they're going to have that up for a little while, so you could probably go and look at it if you wanted to. Let's move on to our next story. Did WWE apparently reaching out to Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac. It looks like the familiar face from the Attitude Era could be making his return to the squared circle, according to Bleacher Report. Or was this... I'm sorry, I believe this was also Wrestling News, as was the previous story. It looks like former WWE Cruiserweight Champion and member of D-Generation X, Sean X-Pac Waltman, took to his podcast, X-Pac 12360, to talk about several professional wrestling topics. One such topic was NWA Vice President Dave Lagana asking him if he'd be interested in wrestling again. Quote, after Dave came on the show, he mentioned to me if I was interested in participating, and I put some serious thought into it, said Waltman. I'm just not sure right now. Not that I won't be in the future. So it's crazy. Quote, just like at the Battle Royale at All In, Maybe sometime in the near future, I'll feel comfortable doing that. I'm comfortable going and having matches, but on a bigger stage, and with that many people watching, I'd want to be sharper. Waltman was then asked if he'd like to wrestle current NWA champion Cody Rhodes. Of course, in my mind, I would, but I'd have to have some singles matches before I even think about that. I talked to Nick Aldis in private about it, and he mentioned it to me, and when he did, I thought about it. And I am like, I don't think I can do it, do it justice at the time. I'm grateful for that, and it's flattering, and it makes me feel good, said Waltman. Cody Rhodes doesn't need the WWE. Oh, wait, I think I've accidentally gone too close into my next story. This one is courtesy of Bleacher Report. Stating Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club could possibly be showing up in the WWE as soon as January. Cody Rhodes doesn't need the WWE, but the professional wrestling juggernaut would do well to scoop him back up when he's no longer under contract with Ring of Honor come January. The 33-year-old previously worked for WWE from 2006 to 2016. He reinvented himself on the indie scene and established himself as one of the industry's biggest stars. Rhodes has won several world titles, joined up with the Bullet Club, to whom he serves as leader for, and made indie pro wrestling history, that is. Rhodes, along with the Young Bucks, put on a highly successful self-funded pay-per-view event, All In. Now, with his contract set to expire in a few months, Cody's stock has skyrocketed. He currently reigns as IWGP United States Champion and NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He's also one-third of the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. With all of the stock he's garnered in the past several years, it's hard not to believe that Cody would be a big-time main eventer if brought back to WWE. Speaking to Wrestling Inc. recently, Rhodes was asked about the possibility. Rhodes mentioned that he and the Bullet Club showing up to the to World Wrestling Entertainment come January is, quote, pretty possible. Well, quote, well, my own promotion is still ROH. I know the big what to do is, January 1st, January 1, we are going to show up on WWE. Pretty possible. But my own promotion is still ROH, and I love ROH, said Rhodes. The ROH World Champion, Jay Lethal, if you recall my very first match at Final Battle 2016. Jay Lethal, Hammerstein Ballroom, just beat the heck out of him, just embarrassed him. The whole franchise act, whack, 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 Crossroads, 1, 2, 3. Wouldn't that be something? The professional wrestling community is all in a buzz about this one, though, because I mean, you've got possibly one of the biggest indie stars in the world. I mean, there's nothing that can even touch the Bullet Club. And I honestly think that while it's pretty possible that Rhodes and the Young Bucks could eventually end up in WWE, I'd prefer not to see that, to be honest. I don't think we need it. Not that WWE couldn't use it, but I think that what it means now is that they want more money. They want to be rightfully compensated for all of the work that they've done. And in this instance, I don't think Ring of Honor New Japan can put up the kind of numbers that they would be satisfied with, which is why they're looking at going to WWE. Now, that being said, The Young Bucks are the number one merch sales on a lot of places, including Hot Topic, and I believe Pro Wrestling Tees. There's nothing that they can't do with their own creative minds that can't go in a positive direction and spin everything. And I really want to point out hard that cease and desist that they received for doing the Too Sweet, and how that became a whole shirt, and that shirt sold like hotcakes. It didn't matter. Everybody was buying what they were selling because these guys have put together such an intensely popular brand that with the people that want to watch wrestling, and I'm talking about, the kind of wrestling that we like to see on NXT and 205 Live, that it then becomes the issue of, can we see that same thing on WWE? Guaranteed not. The creative team is going to want to do something completely different. They had the opportunity to put together the Bullet Club in WWE, and they didn't do it. They had Gallows, Anderson, Balor. Now they got Balor, and they got AJ Styles. They could completely do that, and they won't do it because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do that same storyline. Although I think that having those guys together and putting them together for, say, a heel run against the Shield after the Dogs of War wouldn't be a terrible idea. Especially with kind of the edge that Samoa Joe is going on with, it would be very fitting if AJ snapped. Speaking of the WWE product, Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes do take a bit of a shot across the bow, possibly at WWE Creative. As it is on the YWC here and a lot of other places, we're pretty divided on how we should feel about the current product. That being said, it looks like those within the business also seem to be giving their opinions on the topic. Former WWE superstar and current IWGP Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho took to Twitter shortly after Monday Night Raw this week. Quote, wrestling is boring sometimes, ... hashtag yawn. Was what the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla tweeted after the show was over. The following night, after SmackDown Live, another the former Intercontinental Champion and NWA Heavyweight Champion and IWGP United States Champion Cody Rhodes tweeted, quote, "Can we save them?" Jericho is currently working all over the world since he's not under contract with WWE. Jericho has showed up for New Japan Pro Wrestling, is rumored to perhaps do work with Impact Wrestling. He also appeared at All In last month. As for Rhodes, we already know he's an unstoppable, amazing machine that has shown up in many, many places and done many, many wonderful things for himself and the Bullet Club. That being said, I have to kind of step back for a moment and say, while seeing Jericho come back to continue doing things on WWE would be good, I don't think he wants to. It's not something he really wants. He's got to want a thing for it to happen, and he wanted to have the Cruise of Jericho. He wanted to go on ahead and be with New Japan and Ring of Honor, and so he is. As for Rhodes doesn't have to do anything, and he does what he wants in a large majority of things. And again, like I said earlier, these guys are setting their own they're setting their own price here and saying whatever they feel like. Hang on just a second, folks. Gotta wet the old whistle. Speaking of people who say whatever the hell they want, Big Cass went recently in the ring and on the mic about his tenure in WWE. At a recent CWL show in God knows where, because I read the story but I didn't see where they said they were broadcasting from, the 7-foot tall Big Cass, who's been wrestling under various names, including Big Kaz with 2 Z's and Big C in the CWL, stepped in the ring to say the following. You know, I've seen a lot of people typing on their computers, click, 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 Eddie mimic typing. I've seen a lot of people run to their phones and type up what they think are the answers and what they think are the reasons, and I've read them all. And I'll be man enough to admit that there are a few of them that are out there that are right. But I'll also say this. Most of them are wrong. And there's only 3 people in the entire world, 3 people who really were there, who know what happened. And I'll tell you this, the other 2 damn sure ain't talking. And as for me, well, my 90 days are up. I can say whatever I want, whenever I want, to whoever I want. I could stand here and tell you my entire, the entire situation, everything that went down, but you guys don't deserve it. You're all Joe Schmoes. You don't deserve to hear my story. When I tell it, I'm going to be doing it on a big network special for the big networks, because I'm a star. He completely flipped the script on him at that point and started, running him down. To me, it's not surprising. I mean, there was a lot of allegations that, he was dangerous, that he was uncooperative. Hell, there was a couple reports that he very directly disobeyed Vince McMahon's explicit order when concerned with the dwarf incident, that he went in after him when he was only supposed to kick him. And that being said, it's like this guy's only shred of interest left, the only thing he's got that's tying him to WWE is that story that only he and a very, very, very select few, obviously he's saying 3, I could believe that. I could believe that him, Vince McMahon, and Triple H know the answer. And they're not, and apparently Vince and Trips ain't talking. Well, that's the thing. You don't bet on that kind of incident, because the minute you do, the minute you start dangling that carrot like, I got this thing, you're not going to talk, they might just turn around and flip the table on you and say, well, no, we're going to tell the world just to deprive you of that little tidbit, that little piece of enjoyment that you might get. Now, I know I said that we would not do a preview and prediction of Super Showdown, because quite frankly, Super Showdown, it has enough things, but I'm going to run down the card for you, just so that way you all know what you'll be seeing here tomorrow morning, I believe it is, at 5 a.m. if you get up. I'll probably watch it on Sunday when I've got the time. So, that being said, we kind of already know a lot of the matches. We've got Triple H versus The Undertaker for the last time ever. And apparently, and as was stated, we're going to have Shawn Michaels in Triple H's corner and Kane in The Undertaker's corner. It's hands down the only show that they've actually put a lot of effort into. And we don't know. It's going to be interesting. Shield versus the Dogs of War, a.k.a. Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre. This one has the potential to turn around and have a double turn with either McIntyre or Ziggler flipping to the Shield side, and then Dean Ambrose flipping on them, turning him to the Dogs of War. I actually can't wait to see that one. That one's going to probably be pretty good. But this is probably one of the matches of the night, if not the match of the night. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. No disqualification, no count out for the WWE Championship. Now, this one has continuously said in the promo work, in the infographics, no disqualification, no count out. There must be a winner. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm really hoping that this leads to Samoa Joe winning the coveted championship. So that way we can get away from, kind of the reverse chase. Next up, Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad. Another multi-woman match. To fill the card. Next, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan in a number one contendership match. There we go. That should be interesting. Everybody's heard, all the live long day about Miz and Daniel Bryan, so I'm not going to cover it. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I wholeheartedly look forward to this match, especially with the interesting dynamic the two women have currently. John Cena and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Elias. Apparently, John Cena just not being present for the match, for the build at all, doesn't hinder this match. So we're going to see. Next, the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, The New Day versus The Bar. After that, we have Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics. Should be interesting, And last but not least, likely to be the pre-show. Yeah, I know that would melt Sierra. She'd be so mad. Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy. This, like I said, I'm not doing predictions. This is just going to be a straight up good match. We already know that these two guys can go, and letting them go for a good 10-15 minutes wouldn't be terrible. I'd love to see it. I'm sorry you guys couldn't see me for the whole show. Technical difficulties being what they are. We're still working with everything on this end. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share all those wonderful things down below. Hit the bell for the notifications. Follow me on Twitter at RobsRandomRoms. Follow the show on Twitter at InMoshPit, which is scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. And I will see, both myself and hopefully my tag team partner will show up here again on Tuesday night to not only talk about Super Showdown, but hopefully also go over Monday Night Raw. So we will see you all next time. Later.